And here's the Hercules.
Here's the Hercules again. We can see the horns drawing in again, coming down to a single point light, about 30 seconds or so to go here.
People are yelling.
Now it is dark. See
what you mean.
the horizon to the south is still bright. We're looking out of the zone of totality there. Looks like a huge end of the world experience to the west. Still light towards Patrick in Falmouth. Isn't this absolutely wonderful? Now you're convinced this is what people come for.
It's extraordinary out here.
Here from the Hercules, we're beginning to see little beads forming at the end of the arc here as the last bit of sun is disappearing behind the moon. It's all breaking up now into this final point of light. Do you see what I mean about the gloom descending?
It is quite extraordinary. Look at the atmosphere out
Now,
there.
here we've got a fascinating picture. Here's the sun disappearing. Here are some Bailey's beads. And there is totality. We begin to see some prominences around the sun here.
And leave aside all the atmosphere and the hype. This is what the scientists are looking at as well, isn't
This is really wonderful. Now we've got midnight outside. Midnight at midday.
But
now
just a little bit of light on the far horizon.
Here's the corona now. This wonderful structure of the sun's atmosphere being twisted and contorted and heated by the sun's magnetic field up to several million degrees. The only time you can see it by eye.
So this is the time when you can actually see what the sun does.
Absolutely. I spent 30 years studying this outer atmosphere of the sun. For me,
It's a completely eerie sign. Well, it's totally dark outside here, apart from just a bit of light on the far horizon, which is outside the zone of totality, isn't it?
yes. That's because the total zone is so narrow.
Yeah.
We're looking out of the zone of totality. Now we're beginning to see the lightning in the west as the total shadow is now passing over us. We've got 2 or 3 more seconds to go here. Totality is now essentially over here. Daylight returns.
And it is. That's extraordinary, isn't it? You can see actually on the Hercules picture, you can see the light coming. Here you can see it actually on the horizon.
Absolutely. And now if we look to the east, we can see the shadow moving away. Patrick is probably about to come out of the shadow in Falmouth in about 5 seconds or so, and then the shadow is still heading eastwards. Totality.
This is the diamond ring, isn't it?
This is the diamond ring coming out. Isn't that beautiful? The most precious, the most elusive diamond that you will ever see. Now we're back with the filtered camera here, and now we can see the arc of the sun returning. Those were incredible pictures from the plane.
Did it do as much for you as it normally does, John, despite all the clouds?
Even unfortunately seeing it here on a monitor, well, you can see I'm still smiling. This has been absolutely super. And now the shadow's heading off over the channel.
It's heading towards Patrick Moore, isn't it?
It's left Patrick, it's now heading towards Alderney. They've got about a minute and a bit to go before totality.
Hang on a second,
Alderney.
John. Let's see if we can see Patrick Moore. We can see how he reacted. Patrick, did you enjoy that?
Well, in a way I did. It was an eerie experience, and clearly Yankoff showed that there was a marvellous corona. But down here, unfortunately, in St Anthony Head, we were under total cloud. The drop in the light level was quite amazing, more than I've ever known before, and the rise at the end, when the totality ended, was equally marked. But it was a strange, weird experience, one that I'm, in a way, glad to have been through, but very sorry we didn't see what was quite clearly a magnificent solar corona. But you'll tie that up in our Sky at Night programme later on, but at the present moment I fear that we have to say that from here we didn't see the corona, but we did have a strange experience, and one that I think very few people will ever have again. So at least we have been through the last English total solar eclipse of the millennium.
So it was really atmosphere you got rather than anything scientific or astronomical, Patrick.
Well, we got something. We got the temperature drop, certainly, and the light drop. We got that and some strange atmospheric effects too. A strange kind of breeze I've not come across before. We learnt something from it, but of course we didn't actually see it ourselves. And that's a great disappointment, but, well, we make the best of a bad job, and at least we saw something. We did have one tantalising view of the partial phase about 10 minutes earlier.
Patrick, thanks very much indeed. Well, there was extraordinary scenes outside here when the shadow passed over and went totally dark and everybody started screaming. Philippa's out there. What's the atmosphere like there now, Philippa?
Well, we're
even without the
teary.
sun.
We're very teary. Once in a lifetime, and you had two, didn't you?
Yes.
It brought back a lot of memories, didn't it?
Yeah. Just went back in time.
You went back in time. It was darker then, you said.
Yes.
But we were looking at the beach and people were hugging and kissing and people have been drawing suns in the sand and it's just a very magical experience, even though the whole place is covered in cloud.
Yeah. It's just like coming back to normal now.
Yeah.
It seems, the horizon over there was beautiful,
Wasn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
And the birds were flying all
Yes.
around.
Yeah.
I think down on the beach, I didn't hear any noise from the animals. I didn't
No.
hear any crickets start to chirp from up here.
It was just all the crowd of...
There was lots of
Yes,
whistling from the crowds,
yeah.
lots of people reactions, lots of people hugging and kissing, as I said. Michael, I don't know what Helen's doing down on the beach. We'll go and find out about her experiments later. Michael.
Okay, we'll come back to you. We can let you repair your makeup after all that tearing and crying. This is a picture from Alderney, I think, John, if you can see it from here.
Wonderful, because you can see the red prominences very clearly. Here's, this looks like third contact coming. There's the return of the sun.
And
Just
the
have a
diamond ring.
quick glimpse at those red splots. Those are prominences in the solar atmosphere. We've now come to the diamond ring effect, and as it grows, can you see little blips on the end of it? Those are particular craters on the moon being illuminated.
And this is the final eclipse on UK soil from Alderney, isn't it?
Now it's left the UK, yes, and we're giving it to the Europeans to have a bit of fun with. And they can play with it and then post it off further eastwards.
How much can scientists get from that? You said, there's the prominences, but is this one of those rare opportunities to see what they actually are?
It's a rare opportunity to see them directly from the ground, and from the ground we can deploy very much more sophisticated instruments. We've obviously got spacecraft which aren't actually in orbit around the Earth, they're sort of orbiting the Sun, in fact, that give us some of the really super pictures in different sorts of wavelengths.
Well, John, thanks. We were seeing what the site was from Alderney. We can go to Alderney and see what the people in the Channel Islands made of it. Jamie.
Oh dear, I don't think I've ever experienced anything quite like that. You could probably hear the crowd behind us. Did you enjoy that? Chris, I mean, remarkable scenes then.
Jamie, we've just stood in the shadow of the moon. I mean, I can't say more than that. It was travelling over our heads at 2,000 miles an hour. Everything went dark. There was this eerie twilight around us, 360 degrees. I'm so moved. It was the most amazing experience of my life.
Now, it's brightening up rapidly now, but explain to... I mean, it literally came right across the channel at a rate, well, 2,000 miles an hour. And we can actually see that. I mean, couldn't you?
You could literally see the sky darkening behind us here, and this huge wall of darkness rushing over our heads and out, as John says, towards France now. The last eclipse on UK soil for 91 years is over.
Unbelievable. Day broke during the day. I mean, it really was one of the most exciting things I've seen. So now it's gone, it's off to France.
It is. We'll be following it further on there over its course as it hurries across, even as far as Iran and on to India over the next hour or so.
Right, extraordinary scenes. Thanks so much. Let's go back to Cornwall. Back to you, Michael.
Yeah.